medical science in general, creating something that could help us fight the COVID-19, the coronavirus. Now, what's interesting is now that there's a vaccine, now that not just a vaccine, there are vaccines. But in this part of the world, particularly here in Nigeria and in River State, there seems to be an apathy. Now, in parts of the West, talking about the US, for example, some regions have as high as 80% of vaccinations going through. The same can be said for other parts of the EU. The UK also has a very high rate of individuals who are taking the vaccine. Now, a report has shown that River State is yet to exhaust its over 150,000 vaccines received earlier on this year. Now, the report was presented during the second quarterly meeting of the River State Task Force on Immunization and Primary Health Care at the Government House in Port Harcourt last week, Friday. So, the report showed that Port Harcourt City Local Government Area had the highest number of vaccinations during the first dose administration, with over 19,000 residents taking the jab, followed by Obi Akpo with 13,000 taking the jab, all right, and LMA Local Government with over 6,000 taking the jab for the first dose. Don't forget, we're using the AstraZeneca vaccine that has its efficacy after two doses. So, Oyigbo Local Government Area has the least. Oyigbo has the least, with less than 600 residents taking that jab. However, the numbers have dropped drastically in the administration of the second dose of the vaccine. So the first dose was a problem. Now it's time for the second dose, and still, those who took the first dose, not a lot of them have taken the second dose. So we have with us this morning on this conversation to find out why exactly there is not voter apathy, rather vaccine apathy. I think that's the word, vaccine apathy on the part of the residents in River State. Why exactly they are not coming forth, making themselves available for the vaccine this morning. I have Dr. Urang Joseph. Dr. Joseph, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm good, sir.
Fine, fantastic. All right, it's a pleasure to have you here. Ideally, would have loved for you to be in the studio, yes, but because of your distance away from us and obviously your obligations across the state, you're not able to join us this morning. But I'd like to thank you all the same for making yourself available for the conversation.
Yes, sir. The situations are a bit difficult.
Yes.
Okay, but thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Joseph. All right. So if you just join us this morning, he is a state immunization officer. And obviously, when you hear immunization, you will be definitely thinking about all the drugs, all the shots your child needs to have to make sure that child grows up healthy. But now, in 2020/21, the big concern globally has been the coronavirus and the vaccines that have been created. So, Dr. Joseph, let's get straight into it. Why exactly do you think that there is a vaccine apathy? We've had the vaccine for months. It was very well publicized. Even the president and the vice president were on broadcast stations. The pictures were beamed across the federation, receiving their own vaccines. But many people, particularly here in River State, have not taken. 150,000 doses allocated to us, and it's not been exhausted in about 3 months since the vaccines were made available.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's nice being on this platform to actually tell the people the challenges we are having. When the task force on immunization meeting and primary healthcare activities in the state, and your representative was there, these presentations were actually made. We are giving, which you have already said, 150,240 doses of the COVID vaccine from AstraZeneca. And we started since the 16th of March till today. We are still giving first start the second dose to those who have qualified for the second dose. And imagine River State, a population of about 8 million persons, according to the projected census population. So if you put out the eligible persons, let's say about 40% or 60% of persons in the state are eligible, it means I will be talking about 4 million, 5 million, or thereabouts in the states that are supposed to take this vaccine. And you're grappling with 150,000 doses. So it obviously shows that there is apathy. People have believed so many things including when you take the vaccine, you're going to go home,
really,
to grow tails, you're going to fall down and die. Somebody just even told me now in the office that people are saying that when you take the vaccine at the site of the vaccination, if you put bulb will now start lighting. Some people say when you put magnet, it will start magneting yourself and all that. That there is a chip and all. So we just have believed so much of what we have seen on the social media, and has actually jettisoned the real science behind this. So that is what we're obviously seeing. There is vaccine hesitancy, a huge vaccine hesitancy, that we are struggling to finish 150,000 doses of the vaccine that was allocated to the vaccine.
Well, it seems a bit of a shocker, considering that there are communities, there are countries where they are looking for just 10,000. Some places are looking for as high as 1 million vaccines. I know India was in the news 3 months ago, struggling to meet up with its demand, and that created a bit of a shortage globally. But some of these fears, some of these, like you said, myths that have been coming through from social media, have you been able to dispel them? Are there communiques enough from the task force here in River State to assuage some of the fears locals might have?
Well, as I'm talking to you, there are a lot of social media engagement. There are a lot of media engagement as well. There are a lot of community engagement activities that are going on. If you listen to the radios, including your own station, there has been a lot of adverts on COVID-19 vaccination, trying to allay the fears of people. Personally, I've been on radio one period, straightforward, for like 2 weeks on different channels, including your channel. We've been discussing this COVID-19 vaccination. And community mobilizers and community town announcers have been engaged at different levels. People are town announcing, telling people these things are near life. People are actually portraying to the populace outside. So there has been deliberate effort to actually let people know that these things are false. But the thing boils down to not hearing the message. It boils down to believing that what we are saying is the truth. That is where the issue now lies. So people have already made up their mind based on the fact that even some of them believe that COVID-19 does not even exist in the first instance. They are now saying that there is a cure or there is something that will help you prevent the COVID-19. So they'll be looking for loopholes at every point in time to say this is the reason why we don't want to take it. Now, India played with it. India was not fortunate the way Nigerians are fortunate. They paid with the lives of their citizens. India is a population of about 1.3 billion people, and you vaccinated less than 300 million. So you have 1 billion people, over 1 billion people unvaccinated. So you saw people falling on the streets and dying. Probably Nigerians will want us to have that situation. God forbid we have that situation. That is when India now told the two vaccine makers for Oxford, which is AstraZeneca and the Serum Institute of India, to start producing for the Indian population. That is why we had shortages across the whole globe, because the AstraZeneca became, of course, wasn't available again. Because the companies were trying to produce vaccines that would be enough for the Indian population. Maybe Nigerians want us to get to that particular level, but God forbid. And God has probably had helped us not look like the Indian population, because what we got initially was 3.9 million plus, and if we are going by our population, we're about 200 million people. 3.9 million, what's the percentage? 0.0 something.
Yeah, it's less than 3%.
We are just scratching the surface. We have not done nothing. So it's a big issue that even the ones available, people are rejecting it.
Okay.
So I don't know. We are hoping that we don't get to that Indian situation.
All right. So, Dr. Joseph, now we are talking about the vaccination apathy, and obviously there are Rivers people, residents who are listening to us, and even beyond, who are also curious as to why there's so much push, so much drive to want to vaccinate people. Now, the lockdown has been eased for months now, apart from the federal lockdown that's meant to be stipulated at over the night from about 12 or 11:30 in the night till about 4 a.m. in the morning to restrict contamination and spread. But
Yes.
Most people around River State now feel, oh, we're back to normal. At least we're trying to make our businesses move. People are moving around. More and more people don't need to have masks anymore. Do we really need to have this vaccination? People are not falling down. Like you said, fortunately, we don't have a serious scenario as much as India or other countries have had in the past. But if we don't, shouldn't we be grateful that maybe some immunity, is there something that's around us that seems to be protecting us from this virus?
Well, I am an epidemiologist, and I understand the angle you're actually going to. And looking at it clearly, could it be that we in this side of the world have been exposed to the disease before this time? That we cannot see clearly if we've been exposed to it or not. It is that we've been exposed to coronavirus families, there is other coronaviruses, and have developed some form of immunity, having some level of what we call cross immunity from this particular species to another species. That's another possibility that we have not been able to explore as well. So if we have the disease and over time has developed some level of immunity, does not mean that we cannot die from the disease. That's one. I'm not saying we have before this time because it wasn't discovered here. Then if we have cross immunity like what we have for yellow fever and dengue fever, I don't know if you've seen yellow fever and dengue fever.
Yes.
There's some level of cross immunity in the two of them because the two of them are flaviviruses. So somebody who gets yellow fever will get some level of protection against dengue fever.
Yeah.
Because yes, so this kind of cross immunity can actually happen. So could it be that we've been exposed to other coronavirus families and have had cross immunity between this other family with this other one we are having currently? They were now having some level of protection. Those are theories that we need to substantiate and find out exactly what the issues are. But the fact still remains that there is a new virus which the world is just getting to know, and the virus is killing individuals. That fact cannot be disputed. And the only way, or the ways we can use in actually getting this virus down is first, the first method we are using, which was employed during the Spanish flu of 1918, wearing of nose masks, social distancing, not being in a crowded environment, and so on and so forth. That mechanism, we call them non-pharmaceutical mechanisms or methods, preventive methods. They are not effective. People are jettisoning this. You cannot control this thing because obviously you're seeing a lot of people. When you go out, count the number of people with their nose mask.
Yes.
You obviously see that so many people are not keeping to these guidelines. Even when the disease was new and people were afraid, you're seeing large number of persons not going out with their nose mask. You're seeing people still throwing their day parties, people doing huge burials, people doing all the functions that they are doing. And of course, the crowd control is poor. So the disease will continue to spread. The only method that is simply that can give you that level of prevention is the vaccination. And that vaccination is common with a lot of stories. People are believing so many things that are not existing. That this one has happened this place. You know, somebody will say somebody took vaccine and the person just fell and died. That person that fell and died does not have a brother, does not have a sister. That you at least never have a name tag. The so person died in so place. Then one thing you know about vaccine, one person dies from vaccine processes. The vaccination activity will be shut down. And investigation, complete investigation will be done into it. Not even person dying. Somebody has a severe reaction to any of these vaccines to give. We shut down the entire process and do a full detailed investigation into it before we can even resume that same process. So when people say all these things, without fact. So obviously there is no fact. And the only way you can actually prevent this disease, because the non-pharmaceutical methods are not working. We've not been able to see a clear-cut treatment for COVID as it stands now. Okay. And the only thing you can do is vaccinating the people. So you can get what we call herd immunity. So that large number of persons will get protected. We are targeting 2022, first quarter of 2022, to get about 75% of our population vaccinated. So that we
are you talking about the Nigerian population or the River State population?
Nigerian population. River State is not a country. So of course, River State Nigeria and River State, they are dynamic. So somebody can be in Abuja today. In the next few hours, the person is in River State.
It was the River State, true.
So if you are now talking about River State alone, it means that you can restrict people coming in and going out. So when you're talking about River State, you need to mirror it to look at, we are talking about Nigeria, because anything happens in this part of in any part of Nigeria, it could actually replicate itself in River State as well. So what I'm saying is, vaccination is the only solution we have as of now to solve this COVID menace. And people need to understand that they need to come out and take their vaccine.
Okay. Now, thank you very much. And if you just join us, we have Urang Joseph this morning, is the State Immunization Officer, and we're talking about vaccination apathy, particularly the COVID-19 vaccine, coronavirus. It's been in the news forever and ever. Many people have moved on, Dr. Joseph, many people have moved on with their lives, assuming that, okay, they are much better, it's not as bad as before, and it's something that, like you postulate, maybe we have been exposed to. But here comes the big question for us. This is not the first time we've had vaccination trials and even vaccination processes and programs in Nigeria. We've had polio, we have meningitis, measles was also a big problem at one point in time. Why exactly is this vaccine, the coronavirus vaccine, receiving so much flack or stick?
Well, it's a straightforward answer. Why we're having these issues with the coronavirus vaccine is straightforward. The disease itself has a lot of issues. People have said the disease is a biological weapon. The U.S. wanted to destroy the whole world. Some people say China wants to take over the world, and so many other stories. The stories are just so many. So because of that, it's just like you cannot have a bad parent and expect that people will see the child to be a good person. So the disease has already had a very negative press. So when you have the vaccine is coming out of a disease, trying to cure or solve the problem of the disease that has a negative press. So what happens? People will start looking for reasons. Of course, you know that there are people who call anti-vaccination groups. They are just scattered everywhere in the world. So anything vaccination, they look for reasons to force the vaccination process. So they are completely anti-vaccination group. That I can beat my chest and tell you that vaccination works. The vaccination actually works. Look around yourself and ask, how many children have you seen with measles in this year, 2021, in River State? Just look around yourself. Is that how it has been like 20 years ago? You see children every December, January coming down with measles.
I had measles once.
Yes. So you are now having reduced number of children coming down with these vaccine-preventable diseases. What is the singular thing that is responsible for the lower level of this vaccine-preventable disease? It's vaccination process. So if somebody tells you vaccination does not work, the person is just in his own dream. So COVID vaccine works. The world is opening up. You go to England, you go to different places, they are beginning to open their football fields, markets are opening up and all that, because they vaccinated up to 75% of their people.
Of the population.
So they started opening up. They're beginning to have herd immunity. So the cases you're having cases among those who are not vaccinated and all that. So the world is opening up. The world will not wait for us. For those who will travel out, they will tell you you must be quarantined, and you're going to pay for your quarantine. So when we sit down in Nigeria and speak English, oh, the thing is say you grow on. Hey, there's a microchip someplace. When you go for business, you pay for the quarantine, and at the end of the day, they will still vaccinate you they will allow you mingle with their people. So what now happens at that time? Because you didn't take it in Nigeria, you take it in the UK, it will now make you look and say, oh, this one is done in Nigeria own. Obviously, we did not make any vaccine here. All the vaccines are actually brought in from that side.
Okay.
So the hesitancy is coming from first, the parent, which is the COVID disease itself, which people believed was a scientifically engineered virus. That they refuse and they've forgotten that in every 100 years there is usually a pandemic. The Spanish flu occurred in 1918.
Yeah.
Was it scientifically engineered? There was the Black Plague. There are a lot of
diseases
pandemics that have happened in the world. Okay. So we had engineered. It's a pandemic. And of course, the way we are struggling to survive as human beings, that is how these organisms are struggling to survive as organisms. So they change their shape. They mutate so that they can survive further.
All right, Dr. Joseph, we'll have to go for a break. We'll take news, but when we come back, we'll wrap up our conversations as we start to engage our listeners who have questions, obviously, to pose at you when we return. Thank you. 90.3 Nigeria Info.
The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global and the cast nationwide, covering every blade of grass on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 with Femi and the gang on Nigeria Info. Live football, just the way you like it. The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, with scenes all over the Euro.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on 92.3. Headline News.
Hello, good morning. I am Ifeemi Andrew. Court gives DSS permission to remand IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu until his trial. Court strikes out lawsuit demanding transparency on flyover projects by Rivers State government. Joint Security Task Force deployed to Andoni to quell rising court clashes. Rivers State government receives 52 billion naira out of 78 billion naira federal government refund. PDP accuses federal government-led APC-led federal government of intimidating, threatening governors from its party. INEC says about 42,211 online applications received within 24 hours of resumption of continuous voter registration exercise. In business, federal government says amounts spent on subsidizing electricity every month in Nigeria now about 30 billion naira. In entertainment, Obama DMW, close friend and road manager to Nigerian singer Davido, is dead. In sports, Super Eagles of Nigeria to depart Nigeria today for Los Angeles, venue for game against Mexico. On the foreign scene, 7 Australian cities now in lockdown to prevent spread of highly contagious Delta coronavirus variant. Contact our newsroom at 0818 900 0017. Good morning. Thank you for your time.
It's your right to know. Nigeria Info keeps you in the know.
We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me. I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. What are you trying to insinuate? All these people looting Nigeria's money? You think
This is Nigeria Info. In the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
All right, so welcome back. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning. It's the vaccine apathy that's on our plate this morning. We've been talking with Dr. Urang Joseph over the past 20 minutes, analyzing why there's a vaccine apathy. Now, we want to get to hear from you. Yes, you, the Port Harcourt resident, you, the Port Harcourt individual, anywhere in River State. We want to find out why you haven't had a shot yet, any of the jabs. So about 150-something plus thousand allocation of jabs was sent to River State, and this was from the COVAX program earlier on in the year that gave Nigeria just about 4 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Now, I have received mine, both shots, by the way, and I think a lot of my colleagues here have also received theirs. But the last time I checked, I'm just responding to the doctor's comments. I don't think Sam has horns, and I'm very sure Eno doesn't have a tail. Also, Carol Cray doesn't seem to have blue eyes and green nostrils flaring. Who else? Yeah, Gucci from Cool FM looks pretty normal. He hasn't had his teeth elongated. He's not vampirish in any form or guise. So, and I think Dio is still dark. He's not bleached to blue just about now. So maybe, just maybe, the vaccine is safe. But what other concerns do you have about the COVID vaccine? We'll get to talk to our doctor shortly. But in the meantime, please send us your questions to 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. And join us in the conversation 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, and 0817 923 0007. Hello, Dr. Joseph. Good morning once again.
Yes, I'm here with you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. All right, so now we want to engage the public. Thankfully, we have you here, and we're going to be taking a series of questions on the subject matter. But now, just before we open the phone lines, one question for you. Now, as you've been going around trying to sensitize people, is there a notion that they have to pay for the vaccine? Because that seems to be a complaint many people have.
Well, unfortunately, we've not had any complaints that money are being collected for COVID-19 vaccination. The vaccination is absolutely free. In fact, all government-provided vaccines are free of charge. There is no place that the government has asked for anyone to take money. We understand that people are Nigerians, and of course, we're always in the bad light and so on. So some of our health workers might misbehave. But if you bring it to their attention, of the authorities, especially the immunization office, then obviously we'll swing into action and disciplinary actions will be taken. For those who we've caught before, we've taken decisive actions on them. Of course, they are out of the immunization program completely. So people can actually have those kind of experiences. We will expect them to relate it to our office immediately. So we take actions.
Well, now, just before we let you go, I would like you to drop those numbers. But for now, let's take a call. 923. Oh dear, apologies. All right, our WhatsApp number is 0809030. Please 6416 0809030 6416. All right, please ask your guest if this COVID vaccination is mandatory. If it is, why must it be? I don't see any reason why this COVID is being talked about so much, except there is something we need to know and the government has not told us. That's from Alakaya.
Well, COVID-19, I didn't get some part of the question, but it's not mandatory yet. It's not compulsory. Let me use the word compulsory.
Okay.
Not compulsory yet as it stands. The nation has not made it. You must take it. People are actually saying you should take, encourage people to take, but we've not made it compulsory. But there are things that will obviously make it compulsory by its own self. So you will travel to the UK and the UK, you must take the COVID vaccine. So those ones, the institution has already made it compulsory for the person. But the nation, as a country, as a state, has not come out to say that you must take it. We are encouraging people to take so that we will reduce the disease burden. Yes, there is a caveat on the public health law that says anybody that turns to a nuisance, public nuisance, the person can actually be forced to take. The government can take a decision on that. But I'm not sure it has gotten to that level. Okay. For now, we are still encouraging and begging people to take the vaccine because it hasn't gotten to that level.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So we have a message here from Francis in Rumigbo. Good morning, Francis. Francis says, I have taken my first jab. I'm supposed to receive the second jab on the 26th of June, but I actually forgot. Listen to this program. I just reminded me. My question is, can I still take it since I've missed the date?
Well, for the date, we obviously at the range. Of course, this is a new vaccine. So the interval between the first and second dose, we look at probably the days in between them. Initially, we started with 12 weeks apart, 12 weeks between first and second dose. But we actually saw that a lot of researches have gone on, and people are saying 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks is good, and it gives you enough protection as through as stayed for 12 weeks. So we reduced it to 6 to 8 weeks. So between that 6 to 8 weeks, yes, we would have been given a 12-week appointment that he can as well call back to come and take his vaccine between.
Okay. All right, Francis. So you can get back to where you took your jab and have the second one attended to. All right. Now, going forward, Dr. Joseph, I'm curious, and I'm asking the question now publicly, and I'm very sure maybe you've already had experience. So if you're listening to us, this question is for everybody. Now, if tomorrow there is a vaccine, there's an announcement for a vaccine for HIV or malaria, or there's actually a vaccine for maybe hepatitis A or C or some other disease, or very interestingly, there's a vaccine for Ebola. The question is, would you take any of these diseases I just made mention of? So when you call in, tell us if you're taking on this vaccine. If there's a vaccine tomorrow for HIV or for hepatitis B or for Ebola, for example, or even malaria, if there's going to be a vaccine for malaria that's going to reduce your chance of getting malaria to a very bare minimum, would you take it? All right, next. Yes, go on, please.
Can I add that voice to it, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. I wanted to say on that is that COVID on its own is a blessing in disguise to the world. I'm not saying that the number of persons that have died is actually a blessing to the world. They actually have made the world start thinking to a level of solving issues, solving problems in different perspectives. With this level of breakthrough in the world of science, I am not surprised that in the next few years or in the next few months, we are going to have vaccines for malaria. Because the antigenic site has been changing from time to time. So it has been very difficult for the vaccine developers to develop a vaccine that is safe enough or that is good enough to prevent malaria. So with this breakthrough, with COVID vaccination, obviously the world is going to see a lot of changes in the COVID, in the vaccines that are going to be produced soon. So you see, malaria is going to be one of the top priority diseases that are going to be addressed. HIV is going to be another disease that is going to be addressed. A lot of other diseases will actually follow this COVID vaccination. So COVID vaccines are being produced. So COVID, to an extent, is a blessing to the world because it has opened up a lot of opportunities in the world of science.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be surprised. Yes.
All right. 90.3, good morning.
Am I on to Mr. Jude?
Yes, please. 90.3, hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Good morning, Port Harcourt.
Welcome.
Please, Mr. Jude, I want to inquire something from you.
Okay.
There is a company that needs a Chinese cook.
That needs a what?
A Chinese cook.
Okay, all right. Could you send that request via a message to us, please? We're having a conversation.
You said what?
Can you send us a message? Send us a message, please.
A message?
Yes, on our WhatsApp number, please. Can you do that, please?
Which one is the WhatsApp number? Is it the very one?
No, it's not. Can I call it out for you, please?
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
0809
0809
030.
Hold on.
Okay.
0809.
Yes.
Okay.
030.
030
6416.
6416.
16. Yes, please. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Daniel is in Agri Road. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Hello, Dr. Joseph.
Yes, Daniel.
Okay, well, welcome. Daniel is on the line as well. Daniel, good morning to you.
Yes, concerning your conversation.
Yes, please.
And the explanation of your guest.
Yes, please.
Has actually given me confidence that I need to take the vaccine.
Okay.
And if tomorrow I decide to go out to take where will I go?
Okay, that's a good question, Daniel, and we'll definitely ask the doctor to help us with that. Okay, thank you very much. All right, Thank God is also on the line. Thank God is in Choba. Good morning, Thank God.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your patience, please.
Yes, I called to tell that I've received my first and second job.
Okay, that's good.
And I'm very happy that I've done that.
Good.
I am one of those that work in the isolation center. Jude, what I saw during this COVID period, if you're opportunity to see, nobody will tell you to rush and take this vaccine. We've taken this vaccine now to over 4 months. Nothing has happened to anybody.
Okay.
I don't know why people are afraid of going to have this vaccine.
Okay. So you don't have 2 horns yet.
Hello?
You don't have 2 horns yet.
No, I've taken the first and second job.
Good. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So, Dr. Joseph.
Yes, sir.
All right. So one of the callers says, okay, now he's listened to you. He's convinced he should get the vaccines. Can you tell us some of the places where someone can go and get their vaccines sorted?
Well, the places there are all our health facilities in what we call cities with high traffic are actually open. The reason why we said facilities with traffic is because we don't want huge wastage in the vaccines. Because if you have facilities that have very low traffic, like health posts, where one person will visit in a day, and the vaccine comes in 13 doses in one vial. So if you open the vial, and after 6 hours, you need to discard. So we need to now look at all those places where more people go and put the vaccines in those places so that you can actually get to those places and get vaccinated. Because if you have at least 10 persons, we know that the highest that is wasted is 3 doses. So that would not be a problem. But wasting 13 doses or 12 doses to vaccinate only one person, the vaccines are very expensive. So even if you're paying from your own money, you actually will look at it and say, wow, this is not fair on your own pocket. So it's not because it's government that is bearing the cost, we need to waste it. So some persons will call and say, oh, it's not in the health center or the health post in my community. And obviously, it's not in every facility because of these reasons I've given.
Okay, so which facilities?
In each local government, we have a minimum of 4 health facilities where these COVID vaccines are actually given. And the one that you're completely sure is the one at the local government headquarters. Okay. There is a vaccination site in every local government headquarters and in all the modern health centers that are scattered around the state.
Okay.
Then if you come to the state city center, of course, the government clinic is vaccinating. Go to civil servant clinic is vaccinating. Port Harcourt City Council CP is vaccinating. Okay. All the big health centers in Port Harcourt are vaccinating. The teaching hospitals, the 2 teaching hospitals are vaccinating. Military Hospital is vaccinating.
Okay.
Madonna University Hospital is vaccinating. Obio Cottage is vaccinating. In fact, all the big places, places are vaccinating in the state.
Okay. All right. Edet is in Choba. Edet, good morning to you. Good morning, Edet. Hello? Hello, Edet? Edet, can you hear us? Good morning. Oh, dear. All right. Edet. Oh, my God. All right. Sorry about that, Doctor. Network challenges. All right. So we'll take more questions. You can send your calls. You can still dial in 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007, and WhatsApp and Telegram 0809 030 6416. Dr. Urang Joseph is my guest this morning, State Immunization Officer, and we are talking about the vaccine apathy prevalent in River State. If you did not hear, over 150,000 doses sent here, but less than half of that have been used so far. It's a bit worrying. Edet, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, Edet. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Yes. So I'm one of the people who have this apathy towards the vaccination.
Okay.
The vaccine. My question, I want to ask a question to the doctor, the immunization
officer. Yes.
On the studio.
Yes.
Does he know the composition of this vaccine, what it contains? And how does he explain to people like me who have been following up the vaccine and how the adverse reaction people have been having across the world? People are having heart inflammation, people are being crippled, people are dying from this vaccine. Lots of countries are banning some of the vaccine like AstraZeneca and the rest of them. Even the person who developed the Moderna vaccine is actually saying that these vaccines have not actually undergone proper clinical approval. So how does he explain to us a disease, COVID-19, which can be treated with hydroxychloroquine, but the vaccines are causing more deaths than even the COVID-19? How does he explain to me to take this vaccine when the general information coming out of the whole world is that the vaccines are killing people and injuring people?
All right, Edet, thank you very much. Dr. Joseph, did you hear his question?
No, the line has not been very clear.
Okay, all right.
Own end.
Okay.
I didn't get. I don't know if you can explain what he said.
I will, with all pleasure. So he says he has apathy towards the vaccine because he's been following up on news and information from across the world about the vaccine. He says, do you know the content of the vaccine, the makeup of the vaccine, and also how can you clear or, as it were, convince other people who have heard stories like countries banning the vaccine, people complaining of maybe some inflammation or enlarged enlarged organs, and then there was a rumor, there was a report that certain substances, hydroxychloroquine, for example, could also treat the disease, COVID-19 disease. So how do you expect people like that who have heard all of these things to use the vaccine?
Well, I understand. I don't know if I get it clearly, but I kind of understood what he said. Probably the source of the vaccine and the stories around the source of the vaccine.
Yes.
Now, if you look at it critically, this is the AstraZeneca vaccine we are talking about. And AstraZeneca is a company, a vaccine maker. They are not the one who actually invented the vaccine. Now, the vaccine was invented in Oxford, and the inventor of Oxford, the group of researchers, have been doing a lot of research on this vaccine for a very long time, not knowing that they are actually working towards a disaster that is coming in front. They are actually looking at what they call adenoviruses. And if you look at the spike proteins on the coronavirus, these particular coronaviruses, they are similar to that of the adenovirus. So they are working on flu viruses, and this coronavirus is one of the flu viruses. So accidentally, at this point, they even stopped the research because they were not getting what they expected. And suddenly, when this COVID issue came up, they initiated the research, which they've done and got close to like 80 or 90% complete. So they now initiated it and looked at it and said, well, we can have a recombinant vaccine. The recombinant vaccine is you're using a different source, a different organism to get protection for another organism. That's what we call recombinant vaccine. So that recombinant, this AstraZeneca vaccine or Oxford vaccine is a recombinant vaccine, which was basically not prepared for COVID itself. But from the research they now did as COVID came, it has a lot of effect on COVID. So that's how they probably changed their focus of research and now move to this. The Johnson & Johnson that's coming up, Johnson & Johnson actually got probably similar technology with this one and did a little modification for them to now have what we call a single-dose vial, a single-dose regimen in their own system. Then you have other vaccines as well, the RNA virus, RNA vaccine. The RNA vaccine, of course, COVID is an RNA virus. And people don't understand the mechanism on how COVID operates. It actually goes into the cell of the host, attaches itself to the DNA, and replicates it. So the host will be producing the protein of the virus for the virus.
Yes.
So that's exactly what. So the young Black American girl who did that RNA vaccine, she don't mimic what COVID does by bringing up an RNA with the same thing that looks similar to COVID, that is going to produce a protein that is similar to COVID protein that is not going to cause any illness. So what it will now do is that protein is strong enough to stimulate immune response on the body, using the same mechanism COVID does. That's the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, Moderna vaccine, they are the same technology. So these things, when you go down to the level of the technology and science behind it, you understand that what people are actually saying are just mere speculations. Now, the stories of people saying there is blood clot associated with COVID and AstraZeneca vaccine.
Large organs and things like that, banning in certain countries.
We wouldn't heard of the same blood clot in the J&J. Let's take a breath and probably look at it. Are you not sure this is a market strategy? Because in vaccination generally, we have what we call adverse events following immunization. And one of the adverse events following immunization, we class them as coincidental. If I am going to have a clotting issue and I take the vaccine, with or without the vaccine, I will come down with that clotting issue.
Okay.
Now, because I'm taking the vaccine, we call it an adverse event because I noticed it or I experienced it when I took the vaccine.
Yes.
It might not be related to the vaccine. All the countries that have stopped vaccination because of the clotting issue, haven't they resumed the vaccination? Because the investigators have found out that this vaccine has no direct link with the clotting issues. So that adverse event is a coincidental adverse event. So it's something we will not have to take to heart and say, oh, you say it's forming blood clots somewhere. It is not.
Okay.
It's coincidental.
Oh, all right. Dr. Joseph, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. It's never, ever, ever enough time to talk about this. But thank you very much. We look for maybe sometime next week or even tomorrow on Friday. If you can have a quick stop, let's talk about this more because there are more questions from people that only you can answer. But thank you for your time this morning.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
All right, so get to your regions. Those of you who are close to the health centers, the major ones, and every local government headquarters, you'll be able to get your vaccines. Please, it's safe according to the immunization officer. Well, Hello Port Harcourt packs its bus here today. Do stay well and have yourself a wonderful day. News coming up next, and then the sunny side on 92.